Okay, so since a couple, 2 or 3 of y'all have asked me about my quarantine space, here it is. I'm going to be limiting my filming space because this is also my housemate's bedroom. We didn't have another room to offer them. No. Here is an empty hospital cage. Here is MJ in his hospital cage, which he has already pooed in the time it took me to change the paper for these other 2 birds and feed them and water them. He has left me like 4 poos. Hey, buddy. Hey, good boy. Hey, pretty boy. So, these are not large enclosures. These are hospital cages. Quarantine cages are both to evaluate intakes. They are just big enough for the birds to be able to flap their wings and turn around in, because we want to keep motion minimized just in case. The papers are white so that we can see the color of their poop and how well hydrated the birds are. You can tell how well hydrated a bird is. Let me lift this if this won't upset him. By the ring of discoloration that leaches out of the poop. You can see this one here that we're focusing on right now in the left side of the camera is very well hydrated. And that is ideal. We also house birds in an enclosure like this for 24 to 48 hours before they ship, so that they have nothing to do but eat and drink, and I can be absolutely certain that they are well hydrated before they go. And you can see in his food dish a little sprinkling of oyster shell. And you can also see down here Sprinks contentedly eating his. That good? That good, buddy? They have a night light in case their roommates have to sleep in during the day. Our sleep schedules are kind of wonky. Look at the mess he's already made. Just throwing seeds. So we have this little sprinkle of calcium for a reason. Unlike the galliforms, chickens, pheasants, turkeys, quail, the Columbidae do not need grit for mechanical aid digesting their food. There is no muscle in their crop, it's just a holding bag. They do all their grinding in their gizzard, which is almost pure muscle. What they need grit for is purely mineral or vitamin supplement. I'm sorry, buddy, you feathered your bars. No, Brainy. Oh my goodness, Brainy. And if any of you follow Palomacy, you may have seen their encouragement not to give birds free choice calcium because it can cause a blockage. Well, that information is not the best, particularly if you are raising breeding birds. It's okay for pets, but breeding hens need a lot of calcium, and they need to be able to get however much they need whenever they need it. They should not have to wait for you to give them a little pinch. But while they're here in quarantine, we give them that little pinch because what causes the blockages that the rescues are trying to avoid is the bird having been deprived for so long that when they suddenly have a dish like this full of the thing they've been missing that's delicious and salty and they've been craving, they can overindulge, and it can cause a potentially dangerous blockage. If they're blocked in the crop area, they can just vomit it back up. But if they eat too much of a smaller, finer grit, and it passes through the crop and into the gizzard, they can't very well get rid of it, and it could cause an intestinal obstruction and kill them. So what we do to get a bird from, now these are all pet raised birds that have been purchased for my breeding project, but what we do for rescues to prevent them from the risk of a blockage, or to avoid the risk of a blockage, is we give them that little sprinkling of calcium with every meal, so that by the time quarantine is up in 4 weeks, if everything goes well, they will go out to the loft and their need has been met. They have not been deprived of calcium. They are not craving it so severely that they lose their little minds and overindulge to a dangerous degree. We will have given them time to build themselves back up. Oh wait, no. They will go in non-deficient with a normal appetite for calcium. They will take only what they need and eat normally. Because for the last 4 weeks, unless they're being treated with an antibiotic, because calcium can counteract some antibiotics, Baytril in particular. I lost the words that quickly, I'm sorry. Baytril in particular can counteract antibiotics, so if they are on certain antibiotics, they will not have their calcium dose. But if that isn't the case, any birds not on a medication that will counteract it will get that calcium with their meal every day, so that by the time they move outside and they have access to the pile that the breeding hens need, they'll go, oh, okay, grab when they need it, and there won't be a risk of blockage. I'm sorry, y'all, I don't script these. So they can be kind of rambly while I'm trying to figure out the most succinct way to lay out the thing I need to lay out. Of all of the peeps here, Cherub is the least outgoing. Very shy, very skittish. Cherub won't even check out his food unless I'm not in the room. Sprinks, who has been hand raised, he came in when he was about a week old, has moms. He has no fear of people. He'll fight me out of his hospital cage if he wants. And he'll eat as soon as I give food to him. MJ is waiting for me to give him attention. He doesn't want me to touch him. He just likes to be acknowledged. He likes to know I'm looking at him. He likes to know I'm talking to him. If he were out, he might sit with me, but as soon as I go to touch him, he kind of loses his shit. Which is okay. That's normal for cockbirds, and we're pretty sure that's what he is. Oh, I know. But yeah, this is our quarantine setup. We actually have space for one more enclosure on top of this one if we ever need, and our maximum intake is 10 of medium size and 5 of large size. Because medium-sized birds, well, medium to small birds, like, say, MJ and Cherub, if we absolutely had to and they had no other place to go, we could have another bird his size in here. Yes?
You know what time it is?
I do not.
9:41.
Crap. Alright. Well, I'll go ahead and sign off of here.
Okay.
Okay. Well, if y'all have any further questions, want me to focus on anything, please leave suggestions in the comments. And we will go ahead and leave the quarantine birds to their dinner.